See, Ant-Man 3 is like a DJ Khaled album. It's not necessarily good, it's just
another one.
The real revelation arose from how I watched the film. And that's what I'd like to share with you in the hope that it might change your life too. So here's the secret. You ready? Here goes. Weed. Sorry, I'm kidding. The real secret is innuendo. Allow me to explain. So there I was watching the movie, and it's just one Disney cliché after another. Every woman is a moral paragon, every man is wrong about everything all the time. It just felt so meaningless. And then it hit me. Wait, this shit literally doesn't mean anything. See, I have a lot of respect for storytellers. I assume, without question, that whatever I see in a story is intentional and was put there by the writer or director for a reason, to mean something. Wrong. Take the villain, Kang the Conqueror. He shoots laser blasts from his hands. Why? Why his hands? Would it change anything if he shot laser blasts out of his asshole? Probably not. That's the problem. Most comic book characters represent something. Consider Iron Man's iconic arc reactor. It's literally his iron heart, his essence, his soul, which is why it's literally placed where his heart should be. It might be cheesy and obvious, but at least there is a metaphor. When the arc reactor blinks out in Endgame, it means something, and correspondingly, you feel something. Meanwhile, Antman Quantumania is like some kind of CIA brainwashing program. Any shred of meaning and metaphor have been stripped away to leave behind a void. A void into which our sanity is slowly dissolving. A man who feels like a loser has to overcome his insecurity and sacrifice himself for those he loves, and how to be a good dad, and how we all need to work as a team. And then I saw it. This entire story was about a symbolically castrated man trying to get his dick back.
What?
Think about it. Ant-Man epitomizes little dick syndrome. If all the tiny as an ant imagery isn't enough, consider that even in many of the comics, Ant-Man is basically an impotent dude that starts beating his wife after he gets cucked by Captain America. If that doesn't sound like a symbolically castrated man, I don't know what does.
You've lost your mind. You've lost your goddamn mind!
In Quantumania, no one respects Ant-Man.
Thank you, Spider-Man!
Not his daughter, his wife, his in-laws, no one. He's become a castrated joke, writing cheap self-help motivational books with Freudian catchphrases like "there's always room to grow" and "you gotta stick up for the little guy." In this way, the whole of the movie can be read as a journey into the unconscious, the repressed, with the quantumverse functioning as a place that symbolizes the dream logic of the unconscious mind. Even aside from the Ant-Man recovering his own dick subtext, the entire movie is littered with sexual innuendo and imagery.
There is only sex. Everything is sex.
If you look closely, the horizon in the distance throughout the movie is literally marked with tunnels that I think are ostensibly supposed to be quantum tunnels, even though that's absolutely not what quantum tunneling is. But they also play into the bizarre uterovaginal innuendo of the film, these birth canal-like structures bridging the gap between realms. There's even a character they meet that's fascinated with the human's holes, since he doesn't have any holes, until the end of the movie where he's shot several times, only to rejoice at the sight of his new holes. Are you starting to see what I'm saying here? No? Let's keep going then! Even the other male protagonist in the movie, Michael Douglas, the original Ant-Man, turns out to have been cucked. Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Douglas's wife, is revealed to have cheated on him with Bill Murray.
There's something I never told you.
But what's interesting is that Michael Douglas is kinda mad about this, but immediately writes it off when Michelle Pfeiffer asserts that she had needs.
Naughty.
But then, as they descend deeper into the layers of the quantumverse, and by extension, the unconscious, Michelle Pfeiffer's true dark secret is revealed. She slept with a black guy. I mean bad guy. While they never explicitly say Michelle Pfeiffer had sex with Kang, if you really look at the symbolism in the scene where Michelle Pfeiffer realizes Kang is a bad guy, it's super obvious. She realizes Kang is evil by touching his vessel, which causes her to merge with his mind. This all sounds fine until you realize that the part of the ship she touches in this scene to perform the Vulcan mind meld with Kang also looks like a dick.
God damn it, dude, I'm having a panic attack.
So the whole story basically works out to both Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas trying to recover their lost dicks/dignity by saving their daughter and wife respectively. You know who else is looking for his castrated dick? Kang! Well, in Kang's case, it's more of a case of missing balls, I suppose, since Michelle Pfeiffer literally blows up his cosmic nuts or whatever. Am I probably wrong about all this? Absolutely. Am I biased because I've been reading too many weird psychology books? Yes. Does this whole analysis reveal that I should be put in a psych ward immediately? Probably.
Dave, you know when he finds out that microphones look like dicks? He's gonna be in trouble, man!
But I promise you, whether I'm right or wrong, if you watch this movie and take a drink every time you hear or see a sexual innuendo, you will black out and shit your pants. Disregarding the surface level content and just making wild speculations about the repressed sexuality of the writers, ironically, ended up making this mediocre film one of my favorite movie-going experiences in years. Why? Because I actively engaged my brain and rediscovered the joy of interpretation and the thrill of insight. Even if I am completely wrong. I've been arguing with my friends about it, laughing my ass off, it's been great. Turns out the answer isn't to turn your brain off. The mistake I'd been making was taking the superficial mechanics of the story too seriously. I had assumed the subtext I was supposed to focus on was just the lazy, terribly written social critique that Marvel offers.
You've got to do better, Senator.
Instead, it's the unintentional, accidental themes and symbolism of the story that form the real scandalous kernel of enjoyment here. You might ask, couldn't you do this with any movie? Yes, you could. That's what's so brilliant about it. What I'm really hoping is that this makes your experience watching these movies better. Let me know in the comments if the drinking game works for you. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. Cheers. See you in the next one.